The wind from the July 10th storm caused three types of damage to corn. It was either leaning, flattened, or broke off. Pioneer account manager Jim Stucke explains the significance with the timing of the storm and the issues that come with each type of damage, starting with leaning corn.
Well, Heather, I guess the thing we look for in this corn that's leaning is how far is it leaned over and how is it going to recover from that leaning. The one thing that's good about the timing of this storm is that we are pre-tassel. And the fact that we're pre-tassel is it's still going to have some vegetative growth, which is going to help that corn plant recover. Now, some of the corn will stand back up and come back up on its own, while some of the stuff that is leaned over further and won't recover its vertical stature, it will still take these root corn plants will turn and come up because they have some vegetative growth to do yet, and that's going to help this plant recover from the storm, just the fact that it's still growing. Once it hits tassel, the vegetative growth tends to stop and you don't get that extra growth to help it recover and get the tassel. The other thing that helped us here is this is pre-tassel, so we're going to have a little more time for this corn plant to stand up, tassel, and expose those silks to the pollen. And that's the main advantage we have right now with this, is it still has time to grow and recover. I guess the one thing we look at, we're concerned about in these fields that are not recovering as well as we'd like, or they're laying flat like this. These plants are pre-tassel, and we're probably within probably 3-4 days of tasseling. Now, the thing we're concerned about, if it doesn't come back up, most of these plants will eventually try to come back up, but if they don't, when these ears emerge and the silks emerge and the tassels start to shed pollen, our fear is that if the ear is laying underneath a plant under here, that we might not see pollination from the pollen not be able to reach the plant because it's underneath some plants under here. And that's where we're concerned about not reaching, getting the kernel count on the ear and getting the plant pollinated like we'd like it to. So that's one of the concerns we have on some of the really severely lodged fields that are still laying over like this. Now this one's starting to recover. It's starting to come back, and I think a lot of them are going to recover fairly well. And hopefully this one will stand up and hopefully get more vertical, so that when these ear shoots come out and the tassels come out of the top, that the pollen can reach the silks and have successful pollination, hopefully reach a fairly normal yield in this field. So that's what we're hoping for. We've seen some breakage of corn off in a lot of these fields in different stages. It's really critical where this plant breaks off. You take this plant down here, it's broke off at about the second node there, and that's going to be critical. That plant is pretty much not going to produce an ear. This one here is broke off a little bit higher. Still may produce an ear down here, but likely won't be very productive. Anytime you break a corn plant off up here, at any point in this plant, it'll attempt to put another ear on in these shoots, but this one is down pretty low. It may attempt to put an ear on, but likely won't be very productive. Some of these plants over here, if you look at these, this one's broke off pretty high, and it's going to be able to probably put another ear on. If it does put an ear on here, it can be pollinated by other plants and still put a fairly successful ear on, probably 50 to 75% of yield at best, but still may be able to produce an ear. The other thing we look at in this field is where we're at in pollination. If you look here, you can see that the tassel is just about to emerge. We're probably about 4 or 5 days away from pollination, maybe 6, depending on the weather and the weather conditions we have in the field. But that will be also critical as to where the damage was done. The timing was actually good for this timing, because another week or two when this was pollinating would have been critical. If we'd have knocked these plants over when they were shedding pollen, the silks were coming out and they got laid over, would have been a lot more critical time. This plant has a little time to recover. It can grow a little bit, it can straighten up, and by the time that ear comes out and the silks are exposed and the pollen shed, we'll have enough time for this corn plant to be ready to set an ear.